In the last step, we triggered off the deployment of our Amazon Elastic Container Service. And it took about 10 minutes before the entire service was ready. You can see that now the status is 10 of 10 complete. The cluster is created and the service is ready as well. And you can see that there are a lot of other resources that are created for us. What I'll do now is to go ahead and say view service. This would take us to the service which was deployed. The other way to get to this would be just to type in ECS, go to Elastic Container Service, and over here you can see the details of the cluster which we have created. So you can see the default cluster which we have created in here. We are making use of Fargate. So let's go ahead and say default. And this would also take you to the cluster. And inside the cluster, you can see all the details in here. You can see an overview of all the things that are part of the cluster in here. You can see that we have 2 Fargate tasks which are running. You can see that we have 1 active service. Let's look at the details of this service in here. So this is where we have a service running, the sample app service which we have created. If you want to deploy more microservices, you can go ahead and create new services in here. For now, let's look at the details of the service which we have created. The service name is sample app service. You can see that the status is active. You can see that the service is associated with a specific task definition. And we would want 2 tasks of that running. And currently there are 2 tasks running. We are using a launch type of Fargate. When we are creating this service, we said we would want to create a load balancer. Where is the load balancer created? Let's quickly explore that. I'll go to EC2. That's where you can look at load balancers, virtual servers in the cloud. We have 1 load balancer which is running. You can see that this is created by ECS. You can see ECS in the name in here. And you can get the URL of the load balancer from here. So this is the DNS name which this is the DNS name which I'm going to copy. So let's copy this and I'll open up a new tab and run that URL. You can see that our Amazon ECS sample app is running behind that specific load balancer. So the service has also created a load balancer for us. Let's go back to the service. I'm going back to ECS, Elastic Container Service. And let's go to the default cluster. And this is the service which we are talking about right now. What I'll do now is I'll go inside this specific service. So let's click this link and you can see all the details about the service in here, which cluster it is running as part of, what is the status of it. You can see the task definition which it is associated with. And also you can see that there are 2 tasks that are running. If I go to tasks, I can also look at the details of the specific tasks which are running in here. So these are the 2 tasks which are running. If you go to events, you'll be able to see the different events which happened as part of this specific service. When we started the service up, we said we would want 2 tasks. And it took a little while before the tasks were ready and the deployment was completed. And once that is done, the sample app service has reached a steady state. If you'd want, you can also configure auto scaling. You can increase the number of tasks and decrease the number of tasks based on the load which is coming in. You can also look at the metrics in here. You can see the CPU utilization, memory utilization for this specific service. And you can also look at the logs. You can go to logs and look at the different logs for different tasks that are running as part of this specific service. So if you want to look at the logs of the different tasks which are running, you can look at them directly in the ECS console. Now, to understand the need for a service, let's do a small activity. What I'll do is I'll go to tasks and I'll pick up one of the tasks which is present in here. Let's pick this task up and I would say stop. So what I'm doing is I'm killing a task which is running as part of our service. Let's stop this. So our task is now stopped. Let's see what would happen. Let's give it a couple of minutes. In the task, if I go to stopped status right now, you'd see that there is one task which is status running right now, but the desired status is stopped.